First, the path is over.
Right.
Yeah, something's happening.
Parenting at its finest right now.
Yeah, right on.
There we go.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever I was talking about. Oh yeah, Warrior 2.
Warrior 2.
Yeah, it's I can't remember the Sanskrit words for it. However, Krista always says them, and I just never hear it. But it's like the
Virabhadrasana too.
Yeah, and I was also talking about the effort and the ease paradox in yoga.
Sira and Stuka.
Yeah. So because your legs will be just as on fire as you've ever felt them, but you can just the whole upper half can just be completely relaxed, and then
totally chill. That's
really helped me so much roofing and doing everything really because you get into so many insanely awkward positions roofing.
I bet.
And with up to 80 pounds that you're maneuvering too at the same time, often over the edge of sometimes like a 5-story building, once in a blue moon, and so calming your nerves and maintaining your strength and making sure that this heavy giant thing you need isn't gonna fall on anyone or off or anything, and learning. One thing that yoga did for me physically was learning how to kind of engage and disengage different parts of my body at my own will, and that's just been so great on the roof. Like I can't overstate it because it's given me such a level of control where I'm so much more efficient, even though, if I'm being honest, I don't think there's any way to get out of roofing unscathed.
I don't think so either.
So, but it's helped a lot. A lot of my coworkers never do yoga or anything else other than roof for like their activity, more or less, and it's just I don't know how they still move. I don't know how they're alive.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I definitely hope that I always get stoked when I see like on Instagram people, whether it's people in the military or just any kind of rough, hard physical way of making a living and them doing yoga. It's
Absolutely.
It's so important.
It's becoming a little more acceptable for men,
it
for
is.
sure.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too, because our culture gets a lot of flack, especially nowadays, and a lot of it is rightly so. Because we've seemed to have lost our depth, I think. Like whatever values were sailing this ship to straight and narrow, kind of got ripped out from underneath us at some point.
And shit.
Yeah, and we replaced all our values with like some kind of nihilistic objective theory of existence and purposelessness, and you're just a speck in an infinitely larger set of specks, and so. I think that's probably like a root of a lot of big issues, but we're also doing so many other things that are twisted. But I also think a lot of the flack needs to be dialed back because I live an incredibly comfortable life, all things considered. I mean, I have a roof over my head, I poop in the toilet and it just disappears. It's gone.
Yeah.
I just press a button, it's gone.
Exactly.
All sorts of things like that.
Absolutely.
It just disappears.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
I know.
Put my garbage outside.
It just went
and it just disappears.
But it's also a gift that you're aware of how lucky you are to have that.
Yeah.
That's
Where a lot of people are like, like, fuck, I gotta take the garbage out. And, it's like,
I know.
You live in a place where you can put your garbage out and somebody just comes along and takes it.
I forget the comedian I listened to this year. I was watching it on Netflix and talking about how we all complained about when we go on flights. We're like, oh my God, it's so uncomfortable to go on a flight somewhere. It's like, you're in something that is carrying you in the fucking air.
I know.
And you are going across the country.
Yes.
And you're like, oh my God, it's delayed. Of course it's fucking delayed. It's a goddamn airplane. Like, it's like, we are so lucky.
Oh, yeah.
It's also trying to instill that in little people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Again, which is like my
Sure.
work as a teacher, as a mom, but as a teacher, like it is all the time having these conversations. Because my job as a teacher is more than just teaching kids to read, write, and do math. It is so much more. That is what I feel like my biggest
sense of gratitude.
Oh my gosh, all of it. All of it. Learning how to communicate with each other, empathy. That's daily. Like the amount of times I'm like, okay, let's just stop. Let's circle it up. And it's just like talks because this is real life. Like this is what real life is. What just happened? How did it make you feel? Let's talk about it. And having little boys cry, and look at each other and we say their I messages like, you know, you made me feel like this. I felt sad when you did this, and they're crying, and I'm like, it's okay. Like it's to me, those are like the biggest gifts of all when that happens in my job, right?
Yeah.
But yoga allows me to do my job
Mm-hmm.
at a deeper level because I let so much shit go. So much shit. A lot of stuff doesn't bother me. You know, I do not get wound up about a lot of stuff. And that's because of yoga. I can let a lot of stuff go. Breath helps me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So as it helps you with roofing and different, you know, like capacities, it helps me as like a grade 1 teacher. It's crazy, you know, all the time. Yeah.
I think we're at that place now, though, because I love what you say about letting little boys cry and just sort of just express and just say whatever's coming up. We're also at a place where I think a lot of kids growing up now are just really softened by how easy everything is. And then there's sort of there's that side of it that, like, yeah, you can cry and you can say what's on your mind, and it's basically how to teaching them how to.
Well, sorry. Did your daddy say you could go fishing?
Daddy said, and I'm just asking you if I can.
If daddy said you can go fishing, you can go fishing. But listen, here's the one thing.
It's got the fishing hat.
The mom
Wow,
thing.
the tacky fishing hat. You can't wear your new sneakers though, and you gotta put on long pants. Okay, there we go.
Good. Nice.
Balance.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So, okay, example.
Yeah.
Right now you're letting Finn go outside and go fishing.
Yeah.
You let him get duct tape earlier, and
Solid.
you're letting him sort of like figure shit out,
Yep.
right? Where I think there's a lot of kids now that just are so
Mollycoddled.
Micromanaged. They are managed.
and
Their
they
day
don't
is
have
managed.
the ability to just figure stuff out
So,
and like
Yeah, make your own decisions.
learn how
My
to do
child
things.
has been outside all day.
Yeah.
He's safe. We are all in this neighborhood checking in on him. But he's maybe, like, there are some things I'm like, can't do that, can't jump off the deck. You know, like, obviously
Right,
safe,
right.
but I'm also not micromanaging his life. He will come to me, not anymore though. I'm bored. Like, don't ever tell me you're bored. I will find shit for you to do.
Yeah.
I've got a list. honey.
Never ending things to
No,
do.
and so he will go out in the morning and he will just find shit to do. He'll build forts. He will do a plethora of things can happen in your imagination, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So it is. So it's like, again, the balance. Letting him cry, be sensitive, all that. But no, honey, no, I'm not gonna go out and find your fun. You go find your fun. I'm not gonna.
Right,
Like,
and you might trip and
spoon-feed
fall,
you.
and you might scrape your knee. And
Absolutely.
like,
And yeah,
No
and
big
then he
deal.
comes in. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's good. Okay, kiss, go out. No, I'm not. You're not going to sit in here and Minecraft because you're sad. Beat it.
Yeah.
2 words. Beat it. Go. Find your fun.
Yeah.
Love you. Snuggle
Exactly.
at bedtime.
Well, that's
We're
the
here. Yeah.
that's the balance.
exactly.
Because
Yes.
like if the reality of the situation is you know, you're trying to form or help it form itself, maybe in some senses, an individual capable of living in
Right.
the crazy
Having
world.
some independence.
Yeah, it's a crazy world.
Yeah, and,
and
learning to navigate through
so many
stuff.
people I know.
Uncomfortable stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Whether
not
that
going to be
boredom
comfy.
or whatever the
Right.
uncomfortable situation is. Losing.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody gets a gold star. Guess what? Not everybody's going to get hired for the job.
Yeah.
That's shitty. So how do you deal with it?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right?
That's what it comes down
You
to.
sit
What
with
do you
it.
take away from it?
You
Or
take
how do
away
you
from
go
it. What's the
further?
lesson?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know.
Exactly.
And that's part of the taking responsibility for one's own life too,
Yeah.
because you know, if we're talking in general about the culture, it's like, yeah, that can be a reason that nothing will ever go well. Maybe, you know, that could be the scapegoat for everything being shitty in one's life.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could ask yourself, how am I going to handle this, or how am I going to learn from this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then it comes down to the balance again, even physically in Warrior too, that you're at ease, but also in the thick of it.
Yeah.
And it's not easy.
And you're
But the
strong
fact
at
that
the
it's
same
not
time.
easy is good. because
Exactly.
lifting things that you can't quite lift are what make you stronger.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Challenging you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Coming to your place where you are, what do we call it? We call it your edge in yoga all the time.
Yeah.
Coming to your edge when you can comfortably breathe through that, going to a new edge.
Mm-hmm.
But if you never go to your edge, what? Right? Like, that's so safe
Mm-hmm.
all the time. So,
And also teaching you to adapt to change too.
yes.
Just constantly happening. So
Yeah.
you're always in this sort of like protective environment where you're like living a bubble, and then something goes a little wrong, and,
somebody
you're like,
fixes it for you.
yeah,
Every
how do
time,
I
yeah.
Every
how do I
time.
go through this now? Like,
Yeah.
how do I
Every
go through
time.
that
How do I do this?
transition?
And then that's
Yeah.
not going to be a good
In those
employee, a
transitions,
good
yes.
lover, a good friend. That person is going to be taxing on everyone they're around if they're
Yeah.
constantly dependent.
Totally.
Yeah.
But that's some real deep Freudian pathology, because there are some, pathological people out there who never want their kids to be capable of being independent. It's
It's kind of
It's
our
fear.
job to get them to a point
It's
where
fear.
they are like able to do it on their own, which is terrifying.
Yeah.
And you let them go, and it's just like, Jesus, take the wheel. Like, here you go. I've hopefully,
yeah. I think
Yeah. right,
Yeah.
give you like, this is life. Like, here
Yeah.
we go, and you're gonna fuck up, because I have many times. And just hope that it comes back to like this core of all the masks. Who are you? Who are you when you who are you? Right? He's a good little human. He is. He's kind, and he's original, and he's gonna make a shit ton of mistakes. And I just have to trust that he's gonna come back to that little human that he knows who he is, without all those layers that were all put upon us. Right?
And who
Brad.
are you if you never make mistakes? Like,
Oh my God,
yeah.
so
how do you
boring.
learn?
Oh, I am my mistakes.
Yeah.
Like, they're part in my fabric.
Right?
I am
Right.
not my mistakes. That was not the right way to say it, because I'm definitely not my mistakes. But they're
But
part
you
of the
are
fabric.
who you
They're
are.
You're
part of the
better than your
fabric.
mistakes, because you're the
Yes.
sum total of,
Absolutely. They're they're
This
in
is
my
the
fabric.
outcome.
Yes.
Valley.
and not just your mistakes. Like, what you are is the sum total of every experience, good and bad.
Totally.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Yes, right?
Well, that's why that's like the tragic element of life too, because horrible things happen, and sometimes people get walloped with maybe 20 horrible things all before they're even 10 years old, maybe. And it's like, that's why our favorite stories are that split between tragedy and comedy, and
Right.
that's another one of those yin and yangs, perhaps.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like your hat. Okay, bye.
Right on. Well, we're getting close to 7, so I know
Okay.
you have a class, Michelle. I think we talked about an awful lot. And
Did we? I'm sure. We both said, like, what are we going to talk about? I hope we can fill the hour for you.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we did more than an hour, I think. I'm not sure what we did. It's 73 minutes and counting right now.
Okay. Thank
Once you
you.
just start talking, you just
Yeah, well, that's the
Yeah,
idea.
well,
I mean, I have
crazy.
I come and do it with things I want to ask for sure, but then my hope is that
Did you get to any of those?
Yeah, we asked a number of them, for sure.
Good.
Yeah, it was good.
this is
Awesome.
great.
So thanks so much, you guys. Do you have anything you want to plug, like social media or where you're teaching or
On the mat. Shout out.
Yeah, we'll give it a shout out on the mat.
on the mat?
Yeah.
That's our jam.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So folks should have their website on themat.ca and see when those classes are and get on over there.
Awesome.
Sooner the better.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. And shout out again to Serpent Brewing for hopping on as our first sponsor. Help him out. Look him up on Instagram and drink his beer.
We'll do it.
Sweet. All right.
Okay.